Hey guys, I'm getting ready to give you your DraftKings players to target for tonight, October 19th. Yeah, October 19th. There's only three games tonight, not a real big slate. So again, with it being early in the season, it's going to be tough. The three-game slate makes it even tougher because there's going to be so many similar rosters. But let's just jump on in. The first game of the night is a 6:30 Central Time tip. That's Chicago and Toronto. The over/under is 206. Toronto is an 11-point favorite. At point guard, I'm looking at Kyle Lowry. He's been a very good fantasy point guard the last few years for the Raptors. He's 7,900 tonight, and last year he was averaging about 41 points a game. Also, Jerry and Grant should draw the start tonight for Chicago. His price tag's 5,300. Didn't do a whole lot last year, but he will get plenty of minutes tonight with Chris Dunn and Zach LaVine being out. So I would not be afraid to play Jerry and Grant tonight, especially he's fairly cheap. That's about it for point guard. At shooting guard, obviously DeMar DeRozan, he can go for 40. And it's not just a big surprise at all when he goes for 40, and he can go get you 50 occasionally. Justin Holiday, I like him tonight also because of everything that's gone on with the Bulls. I think the Bulls aren't going to be very good, but they can still have a couple of guys on their team that's going to be good for fantasy. He, again, did not average great last year, but he should see a huge uptick in minutes this year. Already talked about Jerry and Grant. That's about as far as I would go on shooting guard. Well, actually, I think Norman Powell, just because he might start and he's pretty cheap, so he's worth a look too. But keep going now to the small forward position. I like Markkanen could start because Mirotic and Portis, that incident, so he could see some minutes. But if you keep looking, I like, we already talked about DeRozan, Holiday, Powell, maybe Quincy Pondexter because of the Mirotic and Portis incident. But I don't know. He's cheap. He might be worth a look tonight just with the short slate. Then at power forward, Bobby Portis is out because of that incident. I said Markkanen a minute ago. He's listed as a power forward, not a small forward. He could start because of that incident. Mirotic is out. Serge Ibaka, he signed a big contract with Toronto. He should get some run. He's averaged 29 points a game last season. So definitely worth a look with a fairly cheap price tag at 5,400. At center, sorry, I was having a little problems with the camera, so hopefully that will fix it. At center, Rolo, I think he should get some run. He's one of the only, I guess you would call him a star left for Chicago. I already talked about Ibaka, Mirotic being out. Valanciunas, he should hopefully see minutes. When he's in the game, he's not the best fantasy player, but on a short slate like tonight, a fairly cheap price tag, he might be worth a look. All right, so then on to New York and OKC. That game is, I believe it's the TNT early game. Obviously, Westbrook. The Thunder are going to be interesting this year. Obviously, they brought in Carmelo and Paul George. Westbrook just averaged a ridiculous number of fantasy points last year because he did it all by himself. I kind of expect that to go down. He may have more assists, actually, but I just don't see how with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony on the roster, how he's going to be able to score like he did because all three of those guys need the ball. So, and there's only so many possessions in a game. So they're definitely going to be interesting to watch. Westbrook obviously can go get you a crazy number, but he's also that $11,000 price tag. Ramon Sessions should draw the start for New York tonight. He hasn't been great historically, but he should see plenty of minutes. Oh, I forgot this game. The over under is 214.5, and OKC is an 11-point favorite. This could be a blowout. The only game I'm not expecting that there's at least a chance of a blowout is the Clippers Lakers, but we'll get to that game in a minute. Over at shooting guard, Tim Hardaway Jr. And possibly Courtney Lee, just because he's cheap and he can get the start. I've been burned with Courtney Lee a lot in the past, especially when he played for Memphis. But on a short slate, you're going to have to go with some guys kind of like a Courtney Lee. So be careful, but he's worth a look. Small forward, obviously Paul George is in play tonight. Carmelo Anthony too. Already talked about Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee. Go down to Michael Beasley. I think obviously he is very cheap, $3,900. There's rumors he could start. I haven't seen if anything is confirmed, but he could start. But yeah, this is obviously Paul George, Carmelo. Anytime you're playing, they're worth a look. And then Porzingis is questionable. If he does play, then he's obviously in play for tonight because he can get you a crazy number 2. Canner, I would fade Canner and Hernangomez just because we don't really know what we're going to get. So, and again, we talked about Beasley already and Carmelo, but I would fade Canner and Hernangomez. And then the last game of the night, the Lakers-Clippers. That game, over under 218.5. The Clippers are 4-point favorites, 4.5-point favorites. Obviously, Lonzo Ball making his regular season debut tonight. There's a lot of excitement. He's shown how great of a passer he is. He can get assists for you. Lou Williams, he has a high ceiling. He probably won't start, so $5,000 for a non-starter. I don't know, but he has a high ceiling. He can get hot, and he's put up huge games in the past. Patrick Beverly down here, he's cheap, $4,800, and should start. So when you get a starter for that cheap, it's hard to pass on that. But I think he's probably gonna. I do think he's gonna start. And then Austin Rivers listed as a point guard. I think he's gonna end up starting at shooting guard. He's worth a look with a short slate tonight. Brandon Ingram also. he's got huge upside. He hasn't been what everybody in LA was hoping for, but he's got a bright future ahead of him. And with the short slate, he's in play tonight. Small forward Gallinari, he can hit threes for you. He's either really hot and scores a lot, but he's got a low floor though because he can get cold. But yeah, Gallinari is definitely the best player at small forward. He's a vet. He's not going to get you many points. I would not really go with Luol Deng tonight. And then Larry Nance Jr. is interesting to me just because if I can get this to load. He will start at power. Well, he started in power forward in the preseason finale. Again, like what this says, with between him, Julius Randle, and Kuzma, you really don't know what you're going to get at power forward. He's probably not going to start, but he's had some big games in the past. Again, Blake Griffin, he's even more so this year than normal. I like playing Blake Griffin. I'll have him in as many lineups I can get just because he's going to have to do a lot without Chris Paul, without JJ Redick. So he's by far the best option at power forward out of this game. He's also listed as a center. DeAndre Jordan, though, is really their true center. He's worth a look for sure. Brook Lopez is worth a look. But these are the guys I've been targeting for tonight. Again, not a huge slate early in the season, so it's going to be tough. But, Wednesday night, last night was fun, a bunch of games. But, the most important thing to do, make sure you check the injury report before lineups lock because that's the best way to make sure that you don't lose before you even start. But good luck tonight, and I hope everyone makes money, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.